अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। न गुरोरधिकं तत्त्वं न गुरोरधिकं तपः तत्त्वज्ञानात् परं नास्ति तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। हरि ओम। नामस्मरण। तपोयोग साधनम् तपोयोग साधनम् स्तुतिबोध अमृतम् स्तुतिबोध अमृतम् तपोयोग साधनम् स्तुतिबोध अमृतम् स्तुतिबोध अमृतम् वेद विद्यामहत्यम् वेद विद्यामहत्यम् भूतात्ममोचनम् भूतात्ममोचनम् स्वधर्मनित्यपालनम् स्वधर्मनित्यपालनम् स्वकर्मसत्यसेवनम् स्वकर्मसत्यसेवनम् तपोयोगसाधनम् तपोयोगसाधनम् स्तुतिबोध अमृतम् स्तुतिबोध अमृतम् अमोघतपोसाधनम् अमोघतपोसाधनम् मोहविनिर्मूलनम् मोहविनिर्मूलनम् सत्त्ववृद्धिकारणम् सत्त्ववृद्धिकारणम् चित्तैकाग्रकारकम् चित्तैकाग्रकारकम् आत्मानन्ददायकम् आत्मानन्ददायकम् परमात्म परमपावनम् परमात्म परमपावनम् आञ्जनेयवन्दनम् वीराञ्जनेयवन्दनम् आञ्जनेयवन्दनम् आञ्जनेयवन्दनम् वीराञ्जनेयवन्दनम् वीराञ्जनेयवन्दनम् आञ्जनेयवन्दनम् आञ्जनेयवन्दनम् वीराञ्जनेयवन्दनम् Veeranjaneya Vandanam. Veeranjaneya Vandanam. Harihi Om. Our life is full of choices. The choices that we make, they determine the consequences that we face. Today, if we are facing certain things in our life which occur to us, which are happening in our life, all these are consequences, direct consequences of our choices. This has to be understood properly and accepted willfully. Everything that happens in our life, at all the time, is the consequence of our own choice, are the consequences of our choices. Every choice connects us to a particular field of energy in this universe. It is like tuning the channel when we want to watch our TV. Similarly, even there also, we make a choice. So many channels are there. We make a choice. And then we use the remote, and then we switch on something, press the button there, number. As per that, the channel appears. And then afterwards, whatever we face as consequences, they are all because of our choice. After pressing that particular channel button number, then afterwards when the program is on and we are watching the program, we cannot disown the responsibility. We can't say why this is there. No, we can't say that this is there because of the channel people. Those people who have designed these programs, it is because of them it is there. If I am not happy by watching this program, it is because of them I am not happy. Somebody was interviewed by one channel. Why do you watch our channel? That man said, because after watching your channel, if I switch on any number, that program will be very interesting. So that is why I watch your channel as a launching pad. But somehow, your channel programs are not interesting. But after I watch your channel, whatever choice I make, that will be very good. So your channel is lucky for me to watch other channels. If somebody comes and tells us like that, meeting you, I don't derive any peace and any happiness, anything good, but after that I really get something very good. So we should feel happy, at least we are helping people, guiding people into goodness, is it not? We are helping people to select good things. Either way, we are really benefiting others. So, just as when we make a choice and then press the button and watch the TV channel and then we get exposed to all the things that are there on the screen and then we are influenced by that channel, And afterwards, if there is comedy, we laugh at it. If there is tragedy, we are affected by it. If there is boredom, we are influenced by it. We sit there and then keep on watching. See, we get influenced by that. So, who is the cause for that? We are the cause. We get connected to that channel. We get connected to that program in the channel. Depending upon our interaction with that program in the channel, which is being televised, our energy levels will be there. Our energy levels, see, each program that is telecasted also has certain energy levels. If it is violence, and if it is always jealousy being expressed in fighting, and then horror and all that, all low level energies will influence us. Very clear, very clearly established fact this is. So, when we watch that, that will influence us. That will have an influence on our mind. So, who is responsible? We are responsible. Similarly, when we make choices in this world, we get connected to certain channels of energy in the entire cosmos, in the whole creation. So, if we make a right choice, that connection will be right, and we get connected to a very good, decent, high, pure channel of energy that not only gives us energy, but influences our whole body and also our other layers of personality. So that is why choice plays a very important role in our life. At every instance, choice plays a very important role. One's position in this world is a direct consequence of the choices. Whatever position we are in. Even in normal things also we see. We want to go to a particular movie, we want to go to a particular hotel, restaurant, and on weekend we want to visit a particular person. So we try to go there, and then that person is really waiting to go to a picnic, and then he is so loving and so broad-minded to take us along with the person to a picnic. Thereafter we go out for 2 full days at his cost, and then we come back and enjoy, and then we say that, wow, what a lucky decision I have taken. The thought that I have to go to such a person, really, see where all I went, and then the wife also says, yes dear, otherwise when you will take me to all those places? I had been telling you, take me out, you every day tell, yes I am taking you out, and then you never take me out anywhere. At least because you made the right choice to take me to your friend's house, at least there and the entire family were going to some place, and then at least because of that I could get to see all these places. So, your choice was right. Even though my choice about marrying you was wrong, so your choice was right. So, whatever it is. That way, when we make a right choice, we feel so happy. Suppose we make a choice and then go and visit somebody's house. At that time, there is a big war going on in that place, and then both of them start pouncing upon us, and then they start blasting us. Why at all you came and no, and all that. Then we feel, what a wrong choice we made. What a wrong choice. So whatever is the consequence we encounter, we experience, it is directly related to the choice. So we can't take choices just like that, easily, and then just drop it. Oh, whatever is there, okay, we can make choice. Not like that. We have to be very selective when we make our choices. We have to be really very selective. Because choice means we should be ready for the consequence. Consequence can be immediate, or consequence can happen after some time. So that we don't know. But consequence, yes, it will be there. And then choice, if we have to make the choice depending upon our rational, intellectual, proper, logical thinking. Otherwise, we will get influenced. See, there are some people who want to get attention from others, who want to control others. In relationships, we come across this. Who want to control others, who want really to influence others' minds. They don't try the positive ways because their mind, sometimes some people's minds are negative minds. So, they try negative ways. And one of the most prominent negative ways for the negative people to attract attention from others is playing the role of a victim. They play the role of a victim as if they are affected by so many things in this world, and then they are cornered by the things that are happening in their life, and they also say that indirectly or directly we are also a partial cause for that and all that, and sometimes they say you are the only cause for that, and so they play the role of a victim. They victimize themselves. Why? Because to get the attention, to get the prominence, to get the full encouragement from us and time and so on and so forth, playing the role of a victim. Because they feel that there is a sense of empowerment there. It is a false sense of empowerment. They get some power when they play the role of a victim. Because other people, what happened? Really? Give attention, give time and waste energy, so on and so forth. Everything, but they will be playing the role of a victim. So, this type of thinking, they get influenced by this and then go on playing the role of a victim. They choose to be a victim. Later on, life also provides them only those consequences, whether they want it or not. For some time they might have acted it out, but later on it will become their reality. Consequence. And sometimes these people, they distort the reality. They distort the reality in order to convert themselves into a role player of victim. They distort the reality. Even though the reality is very clear, they, with their interpretation, they distort it. And then they play the role. So such negative minds, when we encounter in the process of our relationships, we have to use our choice very intelligently. If we don't make the right choice, then we will have to face the consequence. There we have to properly use the right frame of our mind. Whether we should allow the person to play the victim, we should not allow the person to play the victim. We should not allow such people to play the role of a victim. We should give them a different guidance. And also we should be able to show them that through the role of a victim, they cannot attract and arrest our attention. Otherwise, this becomes a big trouble in life. So in relationships, this is being very clearly explained in the process of relationships. So we have certain times some people like that. They might be holding good positions. They might be having very good name. But surprisingly, sometimes people behave like that. So our choice is very important. Choice plays an important role in our life. The circumstances of our birth and life are precisely, karmically perfect. The circumstances of our birth and the circumstances of our life. Precisely. There is no ambiguity, there is no doubt about it. Precisely, karmically perfect. All that we face, all that we endure in the form of obstacles and challenges, please understand, all that we face, all that we endure in the form of obstacles and challenges, they all provide to us one important thing, that is spiritual growth and progress. All the challenges, all the obstacles. Because when we intelligently choose the right attitude in us to face them, they will provide spiritual growth to us. How? By making us disown the negative consequences of the past, and own and take up the responsibility for the consequences, positive consequences of the present and future. This is a consequence again dependent upon our attitude, which is again because of our choice. In life, we suffer and we endure so many things. In life, we suffer and endure. The end result is, final result is, we transcend them. next time when we face something which is troublesome, we should be glad enough with this understanding that the final result of all this is transcending that. When can we transcend anything? Only when we face it. Only when we face it, we can transcend something. See, the choice of avoiding situations in life, circumstances in life, is the choice that connects us to a low level energy pattern. Avoiding situations, avoiding circumstances, shying away from them, hiding away from them, escaping and running away from them, all this connects us to the low level energy patterns. Instead, if you make a choice, I will face them. I will face them. I will learn. I will go through them. I will endure. I will see what is in store for me. The final thing that will be in store for us if we face them is we will transcend them, definitely. Certainly we will transcend them. Only those people who face the circumstances and consequences will transcend them. Not the people who run away from them. Temporarily they might feel comfortable by running away from them, but again they will return. They will repeat themselves in our life. See, this is another law. If we avoid consequences, which are already ordered by our choices, run away from them, they will chase us. They will run after us. And they will repeat again and again in our life. We can't avoid them. Temporarily we may feel we are running away. But till we exhaust, till we learn the lesson, till we face them, till we get the teaching, they will not leave us. They are not going to leave us. They will chase us and then catch hold of us. If not today, tomorrow they will catch hold of us. So escaping, running away, avoiding, they are not intelligent choices. And more so will be connected with low level energy patterns. Face them and if possible invoke higher grace. That is possible to invoke higher grace through our tuning to the higher value system. Then we will be able to transcend them. Please understand this. Face it, whatever is there in relationship. Face it. We will definitely get the strength and energy and opportunity to transcend them. Definitely, we are preparing our ground for transcending them one day by facing them today. So let us make this choice very clear. We have to face it. So that is why it is said those people who determine their attitude of facing things. One of the very famous scientists said this, how we search affects what we find. What a beautiful statement. How we search affects means influences. How we search affects what we find. A quantum physicist said this. How we search affects what we find. Very interesting thing. So the intent and the attitude in our mind when we search for things in this world determines and influences what we find. When we elaborate it little further, intention in our mind affects not only who we are, but also what we think we are. Intention and attitude affect not only who we are at a given moment, affect not only who we are, but what we think we are. See, we also think about ourselves. We think we are something. So that also is affected by the intention and the attitude. Very clear thing. So when it affects who we are, and then when it affects what we think we are, it also affects what we are to become. Now please understand this. What we are to become belongs to future. Who we are belongs to the product of past. We think what we are belongs to present. What we think we are belongs to present. Who we are belongs to the product of the past. And what we are to become is future. See this simple thing, but it has got so much profundity in it. So, our intention and attitude will affect all the three. Have we ever understood this? It will affect all the three. See, our intention and attitude will make us to look at ourselves, who we are. It affects us. Right now we entertain an intent and attitude. It affects us, who we are. And we have an opinion about ourselves, we think about ourselves. It affects that also. And what we are going to become in future, that also is affected by it. So, the choice of an intent and an attitude, how much prominent role it plays in our life. Just think of it. Very prominent role. What we think about ourselves is very important. And how we think about a particular thing also is important. So thinking, meaning intent and attitude, are connected to thinking. They are very important things. So that is why we have to choose the positive side, the higher side, the divine side. That's why it is said, maturity evolves through painful errors and mistakes. One becomes matured only through errors and mistakes. Otherwise, without making errors and then without committing mistakes, how can one become matured? So whenever we are making errors and mistakes, let there be some satisfaction in our mind that we are becoming matured. Is it not? Otherwise, how can one become matured? See, when we want an experienced builder who builds, constructs, experienced builder means what? He has seen through success and failure. More experience means what? He has seen everything. He has seen the buildings which survived. He has seen the buildings which did not survive inaugurals also. So, a successful doctor means what? Who has given good medicines to patients, because of which he could cure the patients, and he has given certain type of medicines to patients because of which they could never get cured also. Successful doctor means that only, who has seen good and bad of it. Experience means what? Both. Maturity is that only. So, maturity evolves through painful errors and mistakes. And someone said, maturity is accompanied by regretful irony, satire, and comedy. Maturity is accompanied by regretful irony, satire, and comedy also. Maturity has both sides. There is comedy and there is satire and irony. That is our life. A matured person will see the comedy side of it. See that. A matured choice means see the lighter side of it, not the heavier side of it. Both are there in the person. Both are there in the individual. But normally without maturity we choose the other side, heavier side. And then we become more heavy. But a matured person knows both, sees both, recognizes both, is influenced by both, but chooses the other one. That is experience. Tajruba. Experience. You know that wisdom. That's why we have to consult elders who have got a lot of experience. That's why it is said, wise people, meaning what? Who has seen life. They have seen ups and downs. The one who has seen only down will pull us also down. The one who has seen only up will not have depth in life. There is no depth in life. One who has seen ups and downs, then only the person will be matured enough in life. So that is why when we are riding on the tides up and down, one thing is sure, we are gaining a lot of maturity. Let us be very happy about it. That is why someone said the process of maturity is connected on one side, on better side, with humor. Maturity is connected with humor because humor decreases the conflict. Humor decreases the conflict in our lives. Humor enhances health. Humor enhances lifespan. Humor enhances levels of satisfaction. Humor enhances levels of consciousness. Lifespan, health, satisfaction, consciousness. All these levels are enhanced. Levels of conflict are decreased. Because the one who chooses with maturity the side of humor can laugh at oneself. That is the greatest thing in life. We can laugh at ourselves. And when somebody points something at us, we can laugh it away. We will not take it too serious. Even though we have concern for their statement, we will laugh it away. Not on the face of the person. Huh? Don't mistake this. Laugh it away when somebody comes and says, oh, you disrespected me, your action is hurting me. Don't say like that. Laugh it away. This will hurt the person more. Laugh it away inside. Don't take it too heavy onto the heart. The person who says, yeah, I might have done a mistake, the lighter side of it. So, that is the thing which we have to keep in our mind. We have to always think about making some beautiful choices. Let me tell you few of the options that we have. See, the connection with the lower levels of energy and the higher levels of energy. We will see just few things. Then we will know how we can make a difference to our life. How we can make a difference. This is only for analysis. Just follow them. See, one point is reactive. We choose reaction. React. In fact, reaction is beyond our choice also. We just get into reaction. When we go into reaction, we know the consequences. Rash judgments, ruthless behavior, no idea about consequences of that action. We have already studied that. The reaction. What will happen, we know. Instead, we remain detached and become responsive. Now see this choice, direct choice. Instead, we become detached and responsive. We get connected to higher energy pattern, higher levels. If we react, lower levels. If we respond and get detached and respond, higher levels. Immediately. Then what happens? Then it affects who we are. Then it affects what we think we are. Then it affects what we are to become. Think. Responding. Just responding. When we respond, it affects who we are. When we respond, it is affecting directly what we are. So it immediately there is a change. And what we think we are reactive, now we think we are responsive. We think we have got strength to look at a particular incident from a distance. We think we have got analytical ability to reason it out and then respond. Otherwise react. So now we think better about ourselves. Then what we are to become? We become more evolved in future. See the choice, how it makes a difference. Simple choice in simple things. It makes a big difference. Suppose, now, we are passive. Passive or aggressive. These two are connected to low levels. Passion and aggression. Instead, we are protective, higher level. Protective meaning how parents protect the children, how a lover protects the beloved, how a teacher protects the student, how a guru protects the disciple, how God protects the devotees. Now you see that protection meaning not becoming a black commando and then holding a 10 gun and then following us, AK-47 and following us all around. Not that. A sort of concern, care, attention, safeguarding us, guiding us. All this is protection. What a mother does to the child, a protection. See, that type of protective attitude. What a beautiful way it is. Aggression, passive. One level. You choose passive aggression. But protective, totally different. See the choice. A very clear choice. Simple things, we will understand what it does to us. Another point. Remembering things. That is a good memory power, but wrongly used remembrances. They switch on the channels of all painful experiences, insults, bad feelings, negative periods of our life. Remember. Low level. Instead of that, if we reflect, see, reflecting means mananam, means contemplating upon higher things. And beautiful idea, we have taken it up. We reflect. We spend our energy in remembrance. Low level. It affects who we are, what we think we are, and what we are to become. And if we reflect, a beautiful idea, a lovely thought, a nice sutra, the meaning of a sloka, a beautiful point, a high value, an inspired vision, we reflect upon it. It totally connects us to a different level of energies in this creation. Totally different. Very high level connections. Reflection is of a high level. Think of it. Reflection is all of a high level. So we have to make a choice. Another choice. Pleasure and satisfaction alone are important to me. Always I choose pleasure and satisfaction. Pleasure and satisfaction. Not that we should not have pleasure and satisfaction. But that alone is everything. Is a low level choice. Higher level choice immediately available as a substitute is fulfillment of the potential in us. See, we have some potential inside us. Everybody carries some potential. So tapping that potential and finding fulfillment of that potential, more pleasure, more satisfaction, more fulfillment, more contentment will be the result. Think of it. Everybody has got some potential inside because we are potentially divine. This is a flawless statement. Truth. Potentially we are divine. So naturally we have got potency. Potential is there. We have to tap it. Suppose the fulfillment of the potential, only pleasure, satisfaction is a normal level. Fulfillment of the potential, it gives a greater level of contentment and fulfillment in life. A sense of real success. Choice. It's a choice for us. Those people who aim for fulfillment of the potential not only brighten up their lives, but also others' lives. They add to the glow of others' lives. Another thing, physical and emotional survival. That is the only prominent thing for me. Physical survival, emotional survival. That's all. One way of leading life. Normal, low. Immediate, beautiful choice available is intellectual development. See that, change. Intellectual development. When we choose intellectual development, our emotions are guided properly. Physical survival becomes one of the aspects, not the only aspect. There is psychological, there is intellectual, there is spiritual. So many other dimensions open up when we select intellectual development. So choosing that, that is another choice. What a beautiful choice is that. Think how choices influence us. Ruled by, one more thing, ruled by wants and emotions. Ruled by wants and emotions. Whatever I want, that's all. I go for those things. And then there is emotional force inside. Go for it. Ruled by wants and emotions. Whereas at the same time, another choice, ruled by reason and inspiration. Totally different. Ruled by reason and inspiration. We have a reason, intellectual reasoning and inspiration. Ruled by wants and emotions is a low level. Ruled by reason and inspiration is a high level. So this choice is available to us. If we choose, the consequences are there. Another thing, let us see. Carelessness. Careless. This is a low level. Instead of that, disciplined. That is a high level one. Disciplined. Carelessness substituted with discipline. One more thing which you have seen all these days in the course of our lectures, discourses here. Blaming others. A low level. But instead, blaming others for our feelings, blaming others for our experiences, a low level, easy to blame. But instead, taking the responsibility for our experiences, for our feelings, high level. Next, impatience. We are seeing few things. Impatience. There is no patience, impatience. And impatient mind buys troubles. We know, we have studied that also. But instead, tolerance. We have got capacity to tolerate things. We tolerate. That is of the higher level. Excess. We do things in excess and get exhausted. Instead, we choose balance. We balance our life. That is of a higher level. Gullibility. Anybody can say anything and influence our mind. We are gullible. That is low level. Anybody can tell anything and we immediately get influenced by it. Telling tales, stories, projecting things, anything can influence us. But instead, deliberate. Deliberate means we start thinking and choosing. That is of a higher level. Sympathize is really good, but it is the normal level. Empathize. We have already studied about empathy past few days. To be in other person's situation and see through the eyes of the other and feel the feelings of the other. So that is empathy. In sympathy, you need not be in the other's position. You can sympathize from a distance. But empathy is higher level. See that these choices. There is one attitude in our mind. We rate things. Always we see the rate of things. We rate people. We rate objects. We rate every encounter. That is a normal level, a low level. Always we are calculative. When we give something to somebody or when we receive, it's all rates. But instead, evaluate. It's totally different level. Evaluate. Meaning we know the importance of it. Rate meaning looking down upon it and then only a selfish end. Evaluation. It's totally a different level. Avoiding. We have already seen just now. Low level. Facing, higher level. Another thing which is very much connected, but avoiding comes on the higher level. You know what? Attacking. We attack people. With our words, with our reactions, we attack. Instead, avoid. What a beautiful thing. We avoid facing situations, instead face it. We attack people, instead avoid it. Whenever we feel like bursting out on people and thrashing them and then smashing them, crashing them, crushing them, let us choose something higher. Avoid such things. Another thing is condemning people. Well, forgiving is higher level. Now about time. Time for a low level mind is a restriction. Everywhere restriction, this restriction, time, no time for it, no time for it. The mind thinks always restriction, time. The higher level choice is time is an opportunity. Think. The thinking makes all the difference. It's an opportunity. Whatever time is there, it's an opportunity. Then we know how to use the time and then enjoy. Otherwise you go on suffering. Then, suspicious. We have got suspicion, and that will keep us in a different level. We have got trust. That takes us to a higher level. Insisting is of a low level mind. I insist. This alone should happen. Insist. Another thing of the higher level is request. What a beautiful, see what a difference. The word itself adds to the joy. When you insist, no. And instead request. May I have it this way? Difference. May I have it this way? Difference. Do it is insistence. Let us do it this way is request. May we do it this way is a request. It makes all the difference. When we insist, we will be suffering. We are connected to that channel, that energy, that level, that feeling. But request, we are already easing ourselves. There is ease in us when we are requesting. When we request, we know it is depending upon them. Whatever they say, we are ready. Insisting, we want them to do what we want to do. What we want them to do, what we want to do. And that is a struggle. Otherwise, request. It's a matter of presenting ourselves. Fussy attitude, fussiness. For everything they name and then they blame and then they comment and then they label. For everything they label. For everything they comment. For everything they're fussy people. Instead, be easy to please. See? Get pleased easily. That's a different thing. Not being fussy. Then, rude. Being rude is low level. Being polite. See what a difference it is. Politeness. Totally different. Rudeness. The choice. Downgrading. There are people always downgrading others. Anything, downgrade. Instead, downgrading people, they become low, they go into low level, they take people also into low level. Always downgrading. What is there, what you have done? Down. What big achievement is that? Downgrade. What are you going to downgrade? It is not possible through you, downgrade. You are a misfit, downgrade. What big thing you are telling about your achievement? Downgrade. What is there? Downgrade. See, this is downgrading. Instead, complimenting. What a beautiful thing you have done. Lovely presentation. Good. So nice it was. See, this is complimenting people. High level. Downgrading people and complimenting. This is totally different minds. It starts from different mindset. Choice. Whether we downgrade. See, this is only for our analysis. If we have these low level tendencies, substitute them with high level tendencies. Immediately. See this. Complimenting people. Then, being ungrateful. There are many we come across. Ungrateful. They take the help but they are ungrateful. Instead, be filled with gratitude and appreciation. What a difference it is. If I have gratitude, if I appreciate the help rendered by others, it keeps me in a different level. If I'm ungrateful, it pulls me into a low level. See the difference. And being heavy in life, taking everything heavy, instead take it light. Be light-hearted. When there is light, it will be light-hearted. So all these various things we have seen, and as an example, we went on analyzing, so that we can understand how we can shape ourselves by making beautiful choices. Always the choice is there in front of us, whether to select a low level or to select a high level. So when we make the choice, we are affecting who we are affecting what we think we are also influencing and affecting what we are to become. Please understand this very clearly. A beautiful way to look at ourselves. When we choose something, we have to understand this. Two people were discussing. Hey, Secrets, keeping secrets is really a tough thing, yeah. Sometimes I feel heavy to keep a secret and I feel like telling. But those people pass it on and finally it comes back to me only. Somebody comes, don't tell, and then tells the secret. Comes back to me only. So it seems one person said to the another, I keep secrets, but only those people to whom I tell, they can't keep secrets. Okay. So the other person advised, I will tell you, you should tell secrets only to egoistic people. Oh, really? Why? Because they will talk only about themselves. They don't have time for secrets, talking about others. So tell secrets only to egoistic people. Then it seems a third person who was listening to this said, I got it now. What? I am egoless. Why? Because any secret told to me, I will immediately tell to others. This is wrong understanding again. If this way we interpret whether we have ego or not, so we have to look at ourselves, what it is exactly. See, there was one middle-aged husband who went to a supermarket along with his wife. And wife, when she saw that supermarket, she just went into one shop and then to another, then to another, then to another, then to a big mall, another. And afterwards, he could not find her. Where she is, he could not find. He tried in various ways, but this shop, that shop, a big, huge mall, so many departments and all that, a big thing. He could not find. Floors and floors and floors. He could not know what to do. So he was going up the stairs and coming down the stairs, and up the stairs and down the stairs, and up the stairs and down the stairs. Then suddenly got some idea. Because when he saw a pretty young lady, very smart and beautiful, he got an idea. He immediately requested her, Madam, can you spend few minutes with me here? Can you spend few minutes? She said, why? Because in the morning I came here along with my wife, I lost her in this huge mall. I could not trace her, I tried and tried and tried. But I know one thing, when she spots me talking to a beautiful lady, she rushes to me. Immediately she rushes to me. So that's why please stay back and then just talk to me for some time, please. So that lady smiled and obliged. And no sooner he began talking, within a minute she was there. Surveillance. So what a beautiful surveillance. That we don't know what it is. It depends. What we choose influences the consequences. Our choice should be based upon intelligence. See, I want to tell one thing. This important thing is, already our scriptures have told us, and there is lot of insistence, value system and all that. Today, I don't know how many of you have read, in one of the English dailies, there was one report about the effects of telling lies. Effects of telling lies. See, we have ECG, electrocardiogram. We have EEG, electroencephalograph. Like that, we also have electrogastrogram. Electrogastrogram. This is when a lie is uttered, they connect it to the stomach. The waves in the stomach, the levels in the stomach. Electrogastrogram. So they discovered when a lie is uttered, immediately the stomach is changing its levels. Immediately. A lie is uttered and there are changes in stomach, inside. You know what they discovered? The digestive waves are becoming slow. Telling lies affects digestion. Direct consequence. Choice, consequence. Choice, scientific study. Choice, consequence. Immediate. Two things they have observed. A lie is told, heartbeat increases. A lie is told, stomach. Digestive waves become slow. See? Immediate. Electrogastrogram. EGG. Immediate effect. They also said, there are some professional liars, they will try to manage to a certain extent. Electrogastrogram. they will try to manage to a certain extent, but not everything. Not everything, it's not possible. See, like lie detectors, there are voice detectors. And there are, eye pupil detectors. When a lie is told, there are changes in eyes. There are changes in voice levels, because it comes from a different level. Subtle things, they are all finding out nowadays. A very good thing, but what it is telling us, not to find out whether others are lying or others are choosing lower things. It is telling us when we choose a lower thing, we are affecting our health directly, straight. We think nobody notices us. Our body first notices. Immediately our body notices. मैं पकड़ लिया, तू, तेरे को कोई नहीं पकड़ा होगा, मैं तो पकड़ लिया. Immediately body catches the cells. Immediately they catch, and then they start affecting the health. See now? So it's very clear. It affects our health in immediate, straight. And we go on doing the same negative thing. Deposit, recurring deposit. Even though the bank interest rates are very low, but the interest rates are very high inside. Much higher than the stakes in share market. Much higher than the financial companies lending loans. Those rates, much higher. So, that goes on recurring inside. So, we have to make right choices, not for anybody's sake, for our sake, my dear. For our physical level, for our psychological level, for our emotional level, for our intellectual level, for our spiritual level, for our life as a whole. It affects a lot. Someone designed a beautiful chair, which is called as a lie detecting chair. So he connected it to some beautiful lie measuring instruments, gadgets, and they are hid underneath the chair. Nobody knows about it. So what it does is, the person who is questioning, he will get an indication in the physical body of the one who is answering. How? If there is some lie, it will send a shock. Because to the chair. The person doesn't know it. A mild shock. Mild one. They may feel some inconvenience in the chair and all. Immediately they will twitch. Immediately. When that is there, this question is fired. Observe the person like this. Some twitching is there. Immediately understand that it is like, because the chair knows first than the person who is sitting on the chair. Whatever it is. So because of that instrument, gadget, it measures the changes in vibration levels. So it was like that. So depending upon the intensity of the lie, it used to give levels of shocks. More intense lie, more intense shock. Great lie, great shock. Light lie, light shock. Like that, depending upon that. So it was like that. People used to find out, detect and all that. They used to have the benefit of that chair. But the person who is sitting on the chair does not know that it is light detecting chair. They just sit. They are made to sit there. But it will give a little shock, jerk. Depending upon that, they will know. Then one day one politician was called to interview. He was made to sit. And he was asked one question about the project which he has announced. So sitting on that chair, he said, honestly, I think, when he said that word, honestly, I think, immediately the chair exploded. Dhamal! It exploded into bursts of sparks and fire. Boom! It exploded. Think, depending upon that. Like that, the choices are always there in front of us. Always. Life gives us opportunities. As Swami Chidatmanandha says, opportunities knock at our doors. We are either sleeping in or out. We should be ready and prepared to take up these opportunities. Choose these opportunities. Utilize them and learn from them and gain from them. always in life. So the choices we make again and again help us a lot. One youngster went to a psychiatrist, psychologist, psychologist, and explained about his problem. See, I am a youngster and I have a big family, lots of aunts and uncles. Every time I attend a marriage, these aunts and uncles all will come to me and poke in my ribs and said, you will be next. You will be next. So there are occasions, whenever there are marriages and all that, who is next? You will be next. You will be next. Like that people tell. So he says, there's so many aunts and uncles are there. Everybody will come, poke in my ribs and then say, you will be next. You will be next. I feel, harassed like this. What should I do? Any advice? He gave a beautiful advice. Excellent advice. After which, all aunts and uncles stopped poking in his ribs. You know what was the advice? He said, attend a funeral next time in your family. Elderly person, attend the funeral. And when all aunts and uncles are there, you poke their ribs and say, you will be next. You will be next. He went on poking, you will be next, you will be next, you will be next. Then they understood. Iske saath nahi laga lena. Let us not deal with this fellow. Because that is dangerous, You will be next. Too much, that is frightening. They came there to, express condolence. And they are reminded of their departure. You will be next, you will be next. Afterward, none of them asked, poked into his ribs. So it's all depending upon a choice that we make. If you want to avoid things in life, you have intelligent ways of choosing and avoiding. Let us not feel disturbed and then, let us not feel lost in life and all that. Let us know that always there is something for us in life which takes us ahead. Always there is an opportunity. Always there is a choice. So one who knows in the mind that there is a choice makes life look easy. Life becomes easy. So now, coming back to our excellent inquiry into the higher truth from the scriptural texts, we have already seen that there are 4 stages, 4 ways to attain the highest level. Tapas, yoga, stuti, bodha. Yesterday we have seen what is tapas. Doing our ashrama dharma, performing our ashrama dharma. Wherever we are, whatever duty is there, brahmacharya ashrama, grihastha ashrama, vanapastha ashrama, sannyasa ashrama, elaborately we discussed yesterday. Doing our duties that are given to us is tapas. By that, delusion will be subdued, desires will be subdued. Delusion is connected with tamoguna, desires are connected with rajoguna, both will be subdued. When they are subdued, sattva-guna becomes predominant. When sattva-guna becomes predominant, concentration of mind will happen. Because of concentration, we will attain to the higher self, Atma, and afterwards there is no transmigration for us in birth and death. This is what we have seen yesterday, the slokas that were connected with tapas. Today, we will look into the slokas that are connected with yoga. What is that? Yoga. Understand, keep this in mind. Yesterday we have seen tapas. That tapas should be in our mind. After that only yoga. Not that, no tapas and all. Directly I will go. I will do one small course on yoga and come back. And that the only course certificate will be there with us. That's without this tapas, simply by attending that short-term courses, it will not at all bring about a greater change. If after we learn it, we have to do the tapas. Otherwise, short-term courses will not bring any big change. Learn it, practice it, then it will bring the change. So, again, Maitrayaniya Shakha Vivaranam in Anubhuti Prakasha. Nirindhanagni vachittam Shamyedyogena karane Samskara matra శేషత్వాత్ నదీహి సంసర్తుమర్హతి. It is said, నిరింధన అగ్నివత్ చిత్తం శామ్యేద్ యోగేన కారణే, meaning by the practice of that yoga and because of the help of that yoga, by the subjugation of mental states, meaning all these are subjugated, subdued, then mind would remain tranquil. Samskara matra sheshatvat na dihi samsartum arhati. Mind will remain tranquil because all the other things are subdued and the mental states are subjugated. Where the mind will remain? The mind will remain in its cause. What is the cause of the mind? Avidya. Ignorance. Avidya. Or we can call it as Maya, but avidya. So, mind will remain in its cause. When all the mental states through yoga, like yoga will remove all the disturbing, all the agitating, all the things that are there in the mind, all the thoughts. Finally it removes all the thoughts. Thoughtlessness we get into. So, subjugated the mental states and the mind would remain tranquil in its cause, that is avidya. How? We have to understand now. How? Like the fire which is there, we invoke fire and there is fire and it is very clearly perceived and we can feel the heat and light, fire. When the fuel is exhausted, now please understand this thought. When the fuel is exhausted, where will that fire go? The fire goes back into the subtle element of fire. The gross fire we see gets back to its own subtle element. In Panchamahabhutas, fire is one of the subtle elements. Earth, water, fire, air, ether. These are all 5 subtle elements. Combination and permutation of these elements are our bodies and everything in this creation. So, it goes back to its own subtle element. Latent form of the fire, where it is in latent form. Then when we invoke it, it becomes potential form. Gross fire, potential form. Otherwise, latent form. Like that, mind has a potential form and latent form. It goes to that latent levels. Its element, avidya, its cause. Because now mind is reduced to that latent form, it is not effective anymore. It is not effective anymore. There is no question of suffering, misery, gloominess, sadness, problems, troubles, no desires, no wants, no wishes. All things are subjugated. And so, it will not bring forth any more transmigration. No more birth. No more death. No more transmigration. See what a beautiful state it is. No need to take birth again because fulfilled, completely attained that higher levels of satisfaction. The ultimate level of satisfaction is achieved. So no need for any more. How it is? It's again told in the next sloka. Tadanim jiva chaitanyam brahmanyeki bhavedyatha jale jalam vahniragnau vyomni vyomassthitam tadha. Excellent way of educating us. How? Like water is there in a glass and another glass water is there. We mix both the glasses of water into one beaker. Like the water becoming identical with the water that is associated with it. See that? The water. Okay, a big jar full of water and a glass full of water. We pour the glass full of water into the jar. So that gets associated with it. Or pour both, that gets associated with it. See? A drop of water into a big jug of water. It gets associated with it. Drop gets associated with the jug full of water. Like that. And fire. Fire is there. So we take one lamp and we merge it into a bigger fire. Already bigger fire is there, we merge into it. Like when we are doing the homam, we take a agarbatti and then we light it and then we throw it inside the homa also. We take camphor, light it and then light that homa, or sometimes we add that small lights into big lights, small fire into big fire. Like when two fires are brought together, one gets identical with the other, becomes identical with the other. Both become one. Both become one. There is no difference anymore. Like that. And like the space that is conditioned by a pot, space that is conditioned by a pot, when the pot is broken, it becomes identical with the all-pervading space. All-pervading space. It becomes identical with that all-pervading space. Like that, in the same way, the individual soul becomes identical and merges with Brahman, the supreme soul. Like that, the individual soul merges with the supreme soul. When the upadhi, which is called as avidya, when that avidya is removed, that avidya, like the pot and the space inside the pot, the pot is broken, the inner space merges with the outer space, becomes identical with it. Similarly, that avidya is that conditioning, the ignorance is that conditioning, ignorance is that which is binding us. Subtle upadhi, subtle conditioning, subtle limiting adjunct. For the pot space, pot is the limiting adjunct, it is the upadhi. It restricts, it conditions it. It superimposes its own limitations upon the space. The pot has got limitedness. The limitation is superimposed upon the pot space. So we see now the space inside the pot as pot space. Actually it is not different from outer space. Actually both these things are one. But we see through the upadhi, so we say it is conditioned. Similarly, the Jiva Chaitanya and Paramatma Chaitanya are one. They are not two. Same thing is here also. But through the upadhi of avidya, through the pot of avidya, through the limiting adjunct of avidya, when we see, we say this is different, that is different. When that avidya is removed, through the knowledge, through the tapas, through the yoga, through the stuti, through the bodha of course, through the tapas and yoga, when that avidya is removed, then this individual soul merges into the higher soul. That is Paramatma Tattva. Once we merge into that Paramatma Tattva, what else remains in our lives? That thing, what else is there for us to know? We become complete in itself. Total joy that we can gain. Millions and trillions of times more than that we gain. We become infinite. We go beyond birth and death. We become everything. We become all-knowing. We become all-pervasive. All-knowing and all-pervasive. See how beautiful it is. Tapas and yoga will give us this. Continuing further, the beautiful advice here that is given is, don't think everything has ended there. See, now the caution is, Advaitam anubhuyasmin samadhau vyuttithah punaha stuvan sarvatmatam tasya brahmano nusmaret sada. Having experienced the state of samadhi, where there is non-duality, merged into that, you have experienced that non-duality. On reversion to empirical life, there are so many people, I already said, there are choices to remain there, and sometimes something else remains, so they come back to fulfill, meaning serving others, helping others, assisting others. Something else is there. or ordered by the higher level, whatever it is. So, having experienced the state of samadhi, non-dual Brahman, on reversion to empirical life, meaning worldly life, one should always remember non-dual Brahman by stuti of all-pervasive nature. You know what stuti? It is not stuti to get things done, not praising and greasing. It is stuti of all-pervasiveness, all-pervasive Brahman. When such an individual comes back into the world to work, to do something, always praise the all-pervasiveness of Brahman. You know why? When all-pervasiveness of Brahman, everywhere is Brahman. Everywhere. So he praises Brahman automatically. Hey Bhagavan, everywhere you are, everywhere that same consciousness is there, in everything it is there. In everything I can see that consciousness. Like one who has seen the ocean, one who knows the ocean, he knows the ocean is there in waves. In every wave, the ocean alone is there. Otherwise, a person who says one wave and then says this wave is different from that wave is different from other wave, waves are different from ocean, is a different ignorant level. One who knows the ocean, all waves are ocean. The foam is ocean, the lather is ocean, the waves are ocean, everything is an ocean. See? That knowledge is different. So, one remembers that ocean, praises that ocean. Oh, the same ocean is there in the waves. Same Brahman is there everywhere. What a beautiful suggestion is that, to keep always in that level. Next, one more advice of stuti. Kutso muniryadhastaushit tvam brahmetyadina tadha stuvannapanuded dvaitam vasanam chiramashritam. Here a reference is given, just as sage Kutsa, there is one sage by that name, praised Brahman by means of a hymn beginning with the words Thou art Brahman, Thou art Brahman. He had a hymn. So like that he remembered Brahman every time he praised the Brahman. In the same way, a realized sage, a realized soul, on reversion to empirical life, coming back to the empirical life, by praising Brahman, should get rid of the latent impressions of duality present for a long time. Even such people, latent impressions of duality will be present, little, latent impressions of duality. Still, so that latent impressions of duality are wiped out, so that they are totally removed. Experience of non-duality is one thing, getting established absolutely in it is another thing. So to get established in it, these latent impressions have to be removed. So even little minute traces of them, that also will be removed by praising Brahman, by stuti always. Then what remains is final thing, bodha. What is said here? Yogad advaita vijnane vasanayascha samkshaye santyajya jivita bhranti paramatvatvam apnuyat. Paramatmatvam apnuyat. One gains that level of paramatmatva. What is that level? How one gains? When by subjugation of mental states, and all the mental states or mental thoughts or vrittis or whatever is there, vasana, samskara, habit, impression, all these are completely eradicated, subjugated. There arises the direct knowledge of non-dual reality and the cessation of latent impressions. All the latent impressions are also removed by that bodha of that adbhuta, advaita bodha. All these are gone, confirmed that you are that, and ultimately that bodha, when that is given by Sadguru, completely all are gone. cessation of latent impression, when that happens, when that bodha, all latent impressions are also gone, then the individual soul, leaving out the false notion of being a bhutatma, being a jivatma, leaving that false notion, would attain the state of Supreme Self. This is what we have to attain. And the easiest way to attain is tapas, yoga, stuti, bodha. And this we have to keep in our mind in the due course of our learning through relationships. Harihi Om. सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ।